Good morning, everybody. It's Leah Etling with Running USA, and I'm really excited today to be here with Kris and Aaron Olsen from Finish Line Engravers. And they have a really cool story about how their business started. So, Kris and Aaron, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Great to be
We're
here.
excited to chat and get to know more. So, tell me a little bit about how this all started. How did you get into the on-site engraving of metals?
And that's our favorite story, really. Back in 2012, Columbus, Ohio, and Dresden, Germany, being sister cities, like a business relationship, the Columbus Marathon had a similar relationship with the Dresden Marathon, and they had a program where they exchanged athletes. So Kris applied to be one of the athletes, and she was selected. And Kris went over to Dresden, Germany, and I stayed here at home. And she experienced the Dresden Marathon. And while she was there, she got her finisher medal engraved. And I'll let her tell you a little bit about that.
First of all, when Aaron told me to soak up all that Dresden had to offer, I took that to heart because that was my first international half marathon. And I just thought, what a privilege it is to be able to travel, to be able to run. And I soaked it all up. When I crossed the finish line, Aaron has always been at the finish line whistling for me. So I called him up, and as I was crossing the finish line, just so I could still hear his whistling and cheering for me. I went into the festivities finish line area. They had a metal engraving, and I like, my gosh, that would be the most awesomest thing to have. Put my name on there, put my time on there, and remember this, and take it home with me. And as soon as I seen I'll say the flood of runners cheering each other on, and I'd only been in the running world for a couple years as a runner, but I fell in love with the enthusiasm of that other people that didn't even know you were cheering you on. There was no booing. This was a sport of achievement and encouragement. And I looked down, I had a beer in my hand, and I'm like, we should do this. So I called Aaron up immediately after that photo was taken and said I had a great idea for us to start, and he'll have to wait till I get home because you have to see it in person. And I didn't get home for another like 2 or 3 days, I think. And when I got home, we just got to work, and Aaron met with the Columbus Marathon and Columbus Marathon race director, Darius Blackford. And from there, I'm not going to say it fell into pieces, it fell into place, but the pieces all came together to where we're at now.
Amazing. And I know you mentioned that photo behind you in the screenshot is from that day.
Yes.
So we'll have to have you send me that one, and we can splice it in here so that everybody can see it up close.
Okay, thanks.
How many halves or full marathons have you done since then?
I've done 6 halves total, and I did Marine Corps full marathon, and unfortunately got injured at mile 18.
Oh, no.
And I was just around the corner. Like,
The bridge was almost there.
And I guess for my personality I was thankful that I survived that injury. It was not a pretty sight. But I didn't beat myself up about it. I just thought, you know what, it was still an honor to be at a race, and I was running in honor of a fallen hero here in Grove City. So,
oh, wonderful.
I've reached out to the Marine Corps Marathon. Back before virtual races were even a thing, and I was able to finish my race here, and just so I can give that medal to their family. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
But that was my only marathon because I thought, no, I'll stick with halves, and I've actually started 5Ks and 10Ks after that because I'm like, oh, there's smaller races.
And how about you, Aaron? Have you gotten into this at all, or you're mostly working at these events, I'm guessing?
I'm mostly working, although I've been drug into a couple of them. I was one of the I guess athletes in school where running was the punishment, not the good part. But no, I've enjoyed a few 5Ks. And then most recently, last couple of years, Kris and I started doing duathlons together.
Oh, cool.
So
Awesome.
yeah, I'm mostly working. Kris definitely has the running bug and she gets the running high. She's got that spirit.
Amazing. So, one other follow-up question, just based on all of that. Was there already some engraving interest or work that was going on when this took place?
That's a great question. So, and the joke is, I was taking a bit of a hiatus from corporate America. We relocated back to Columbus to be around our family. And I told Kris before she left, listen, we're going to get serious when you come back. I think we're going to start a medical business.
Mm-hmm.
Columbus is a great medical town. Well, when she came back and said, we need to do this metal business, I'm like, no, you're confused. I said, um, but no, there was no interest before. And then,
Okay.
the idea validated itself 100% when we looked at the medals we did have
Mhm.
and we flipped them all over and we had some memory of the races, but there was nothing on our current medals that said
Mhm.
what our time was, and we knew nobody else did it. I mean, none of the races we've been to did it. So we thought there's definitely some potential here.
Very cool. So you started right in your hometown with Columbus, and then how did you grow from there?
We grew really through networking
Mhm.
and making cold calls. I remember our first out of town race director that returned my email um, was Run the Bluegrass in Lexington, Kentucky. And I sent the email and Eric responded back within like 10 minutes. I thought, do people really respond to emails that quick? But that's Eric's personality. He's seen the value in it. And but really it was through networking and just reaching out through email.
Very cool. Well, tell me about the logistics of this because it seems complicated to me. So, how does this work? You are at the expo, or where are you at the races? And then how do you handle the customers? Just what's the process?
Sure. So the logistics part of it has evolved. We started off with a single 10 by 10 tent, one mechanical engraver, um, and we would be part of the dark 30 setup, before every race. So we get in there at, like whatever, dark 30, and we're setting up our tent and our equipment and our generator and getting ready. And that was just it was really physical, a lot of nervousness. And then our business continued to grow. And so we had to add another 10 by 10 tent. At one point, we were up to 6 mechanical engraving machines at a time.
Oh, wow.
So we had a bit of a load in and load out. And even the things that have stayed the same are we work with the race logistics people for load in, load out times.
Mhm.
Um, well in advance of the race, we confirm medal design. So we know we've got a landing spot for the runner's name and finish time properly. And then we also stay in touch with the race to make sure that we have the right amount of equipment and customer service people up front to make sure that from a capacity standpoint, it's a great experience for the runners. But we've really, we at one point we were doing a lot of races, a lot
Mhm.
of races. And then because I was working full time and Kris was working as well for a while, we scaled back to some of our larger and larger races, and now we are really kind of dedicating ourselves to the biggest races each year. And we built a customized trailer. So now the load in, load out is really driving in, setting up. It's really taken all that out of logistics. But we still work with the race directors on metal design, on
Mhm.
any type of logistics in and out, and helping them make sure that the runners experience on that personalization front is what they want to see.
So cool. Now, I was going to ask a question about traveling because obviously you have to drive because you have to take all your stuff with you. What's the furthest that you've gone from home to an event?
Well, that's a toss up. I don't know exact mile wise, but we here in Columbus, we travel to Miami,
Okay.
Florida for the
Mhm.
Miami Marathon, and we also do Gasparilla Distance Classic. Those would be the two longest hauls.
Okay. And
And then those are in January and February, which is a great time to leave the state of Ohio for a
very
trip.
convenient. Yeah, that definitely works out. And then what is your record for most medals ever engraved at one event?
Ooh, I don't know that answer.
That's a great question.
All right, awesome. Well, we'll come back to that one in a follow-up at some point.
Yeah.
You mentioned looking at the designs ahead of time. What would you say is one of the more memorable or unique medals that you've ever worked on?
That is a really good question. Um,
I don't-
I'll let Chris answer that one.
Um, well, I think the Miami Marathon has a really cool medal. When we started with them, it was their 20th anniversary, so it was gold, had the palm trees, and me being a Florida salt girl now because I love Florida. I feel like, and I ran a race down in Florida, so I fell in love with that state. So I would say that because of the palm tree. As a runner, I would say if you're looking for one that has a palm tree in it, do that one. But I feel that when we come across all the races that we work with, the race director to his marketing team or her marketing team, they do a phenomenal job at putting their touch into that medal. So I really think that's cool. And as a runner, I would never have known that before. I didn't even know a medal existed when I did actually, I take that back. I did it. I haven't done a 5K, but I done a 3 miler, and again, it was a fun race. I didn't even know you got a medal at the end. It was all about the beer. That's how I got into running. But I really, that's the coolest medal I think I've seen is the Miami Marathon because it has that beautiful palm tree somewhere embedded into it. So that's always a fun twist to it.
Very cool.
You threw in the most memorable, and this is a discussion we had the other day, like what is the most memorable? And there's another one. Um, it's kind of hard to get through.
I'll take over because it's touching to me, but I think because Aaron had to actually physically engrave this medal and he had to do a little bit of research on it to how to get it engraved. Right when we were doing it for the Columbus Marathon, we had a runner come up and she wanted to put her husband's name on it. And we just don't, on the medal, we try to engrave their name, their time, and then a message because we want their message to go with them. And this wife came up, her husband ran the Columbus Marathon, and she had his time. It was like 3 hours and something. She wanted Aaron to find the time they had lost their 10-month-old son. And their son was supposed to be one of the champion miles for Columbus Marathon. And the child passed away for medical conditions. And she gave us that he was 10 months old, days, hours. She wanted us to figure out how that computed to put the husband's name and time and then the son's name and how many hours, minutes, and seconds that child lived. And when she went to pay, I'm like, I'm just not gonna. And she goes, no, this goes to Children's Hospital. And I said, I'll put that money in there. Like I'm giving this to you as a gift. And this was our first year into it. And Aaron looked at me and he goes, what did you get me into? And I'm like, life, like my background, I said, as special ed, I did my first student teaching was at Children's Hospital down in Dayton, Ohio. So I came across those kids that now we see at the Columbus Marathon. So that medal, and at that time I didn't take a picture. We just have the story to tell. I don't even know what the runner's name is. It's just we get to carry that on to somebody else and say, listen, it's your story, and this is the story of a runner and and what he experienced during the Columbus Marathon. So,
Oh my gosh, that is so
you know,
moving. And I was just going to ask you what makes this work meaningful, but you just answered that more than perfectly. So thank you. What a touching story. That is so
and
special.
where do we get that out? I feel like the running world's just it's a kind of quiet one because nobody really hears about the stories of runners. It's not really what we do, it's about what we can give to that runner, and they'll take that with them. And even if it's just their name and their time, because that time is the half marathon time, 5K time, 10K time, that's theirs. They have a story behind what got them to the start line and what got them across the finish line.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much life in this sport, right?
Yeah.
It really intersects in ways that we might never really
And we
think
hear
about.
some funny stories and we're like, ooh, like, okay. I'm like,
Amazing. Well, I know you also have a relationship with Kudos. Do you want to chat about that at all and tell us what that's all about?
Sure. So Kudos is a brand we came up with because one of the races that we work with is the Flying Pig in Cincinnati, Ohio. And they've got a very iconic 3D front and back medal. The front usually has the front side of the pig, and the back has the back side of the pig with all the curvatures and everything. So there's rarely enough flat spot to place an engraving.
Mm-hmm.
So we came up with this concept of a pin that is complementary of the design, and we work with the artwork and the Pigworks team to get the right design. So each year we design this pin, again, complementary to the half and the full marathon, and even the colors of them again are very complementary. But we put a flat landing spot on that pin so that when the runner finishes, they can pick up their pin, we'll engrave their name and their finish time. Then they can use that pin they can put it on their hat, they can put it on their whatever, and still have that memory of the race with their performance.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, we've gone way over the 5 questions, but it's been so fun talking to you both. I want to ask about one more thing before I let you go, which is you mentioned before we turned on the recorder that this medal hanger behind you, where it says "One day a girl went for a run," was actually made, Aaron, by you. So you've really gotten into this, it looks like.
Yeah, that was again the running industry inspired me and Kris to start another company where we made metal hangers.
Okay. Is that
And
still around or?
no, we
Okay.
sold it, but we
Okay.
operated it for about 3 years and really got a tremendous amount of very similar graphication, being able to use the artsy side of ourselves and design things specifically for people.
Mhm.
But it was too much of a time consumer for us, and so we refocused back on the on-site metal engraving.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Very cool. Well, is there anything else that either of you would like to share about the company before I let you go?
I just say, I might have been inspired by it, but he's the quiet, behind the scenes of Finish Line Engravers. But last month he did retire from the corporate world, and we just look forward to seeing what's next for us. That we both go into this, and we have 3 sons and 3 daughter-in-laws, and they've all 6 of our kids, I'll call them, have all worked with us at some degree with starting this business, helping with it, and continue to still do that. And that's what we bring to the table. It's not just that, oh, we decided to start a company. We started a company because of an inspiration. And our kids have gotten behind that inspiration. And that's just, I don't think I could have a better business, better business partner. Our kids are supporting, and it's just, and now we have grandkids, and the oldest one, she's 9 and she runs, and we get to engrave some medals for her. It's just a continuous of what inspired me, in 2012 in Dresden, Germany. And we actually host runners from Dresden when they come over here to the Columbus
Oh,
Marathon.
wow. Mhm.
We've hosted 3 of them so far, And that's just a piece of us goes back to Dresden, because I left a piece of my heart, I always say, in Dresden. And it's just and this is one of the paintings here is from the church that I ran by in Dresden. And the runner that came last year had that painted by a local artist in Dresden, Germany,
Oh,
as a
cool.
gift for us. So I feel like it doesn't stop. The story doesn't stop.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Kris and Aaron, thank you so much.
Thank you, Leah.
Thank you, Leah.